The mentality of the legends is not born, it is forged. In the crucible of hardship, pressure, failure, and relentless ambition, the greatest individuals in history discovered not only who they were, but who they were capable of becoming. This mindset is not reserved for the few or the chosen. It's available to anyone willing to pay the price. Legends are not supernatural. They are people who made a choice to never settle, to never back down, and to never be ordinary. In every story of greatness, there is a moment when defeat could have defined the ending. But for the legends, defeat was only the beginning. Think of the pioneers, the innovators, the athletes, the leaders who reshaped culture, business, politics, sports. They all started as ordinary individuals with extraordinary persistence. They weren't handed guarantees, they earned every inch. The mentality that separates legends from the masses is the belief that failure is a teacher, not a tombstone. They don't run from loss, they learn from it, harness it, and turn it into fire. In America's own legacy, the spirit of legendary mentality is everywhere. From the grit of Abraham Lincoln, who rose from poverty and repeated political failure to lead a nation through its darkest hour, to the undying will of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who carried a vision of justice through hatred and violence. Legends believe in a cause bigger than themselves. The modern world often distracts us with speed and convenience, but legends understand that greatness has no shortcut. It demands consistency, humility, and a relentless desire to grow. They don't ask for an easier path, they ask for stronger shoulders. That's the difference. Legends don't wait for opportunity. They prepare so thoroughly that when opportunity shows up, they dominate it. They wake up early. They study while others sleep. They train while others complain. They build while others wait. Their focus isn't scattered across comfort or comparison. It's anchored in vision, sacrifice, and long-term purpose. That's what makes them different. Many people assume legendary individuals were always confident, always bold, always prepared. That's not true. They doubted themselves. They faced rejection. They fought fear. The difference is, they moved anyway. They acted in spite of fear, not absence of it. Legends speak the language of action. They don't live in their heads, crafting perfect scenarios that never happen. They move, they learn, they adjust, and they evolve. Think of Oprah Winfrey, who overcame unthinkable trauma and rejection to become a voice of empowerment for millions. Think of Elon Musk, mocked for his ideas, dismissed by experts, and doubted by industries. Yet he kept going, not because he was invincible, but because he was committed. That's the mentality of the legends. Commitment over convenience. They don't seek applause, they seek results. And when they fall short, they don't hide or blame. They take ownership, they adapt, and they come back stronger. You see, the legendary mindset is built through discipline. It's not about doing what you feel like. It's doing what you must, especially when you don't feel like it. That's where greatness is born, not in the moments of excitement, but in the moments of fatigue, rejection, and loneliness. Legends train themselves to endure boredom, resist distraction, and rise above mediocrity. They understand that talent may open the door, but work ethic keeps it open. Whether it's Kobe Bryant taking thousands of shots before the sun rises, or J.K. Rowling riding through depression and poverty, or Thomas Edison failing over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb, the process is brutal, but the reward is transformational. The world remembers the result, but legends respect the process. Because the process is where the mentality is forged, where self-doubt turns to confidence, where fear transforms into fuel, and where average becomes exceptional. Legends operate in a space most people fear to enter, discomfort. While the world looks for ease, legends pursue challenge. They understand that pressure builds power and pain sharpens focus. They lean into adversity with the mindset that every obstacle is an opportunity dressed in disguise. When the storm comes, they don't run. They stand firm. It's not because they're fearless, but because they've learned how to turn fear into drive. The mentality of the legends is grounded in clarity, an unshakable vision of who they are becoming. They don't lose themselves in criticism or praise. They don't measure progress by external approval. Their compass is internal. Their fuel is internal. Their competition is internal. What they did yesterday is the standard they aim to surpass today. They're not chasing followers or fame. They're chasing growth, purpose and legacy. It's why legends don't burn out. They burn brighter because their work is tied to meaning. Look at how legends deal with failure. It doesn't shatter them. It shapes them. They don't see failure as an indictment of who they are. It's a necessary part of becoming who they are meant to be. When Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, it didn't end his dream, it ignited it. When Walt Disney was fired for lacking creativity, he didn't collapse in defeat. He built an empire that touched generations. This is the essence of the legendary mentality, the ability to see setbacks as setups. They refuse to make excuses. They reframe the narrative. They ask, what can I build with this? And they keep building. They understand that resilience is not about bouncing back. It's about bouncing forward, wiser, stronger, more determined than ever. Legends don't get derailed by rejection. They use it. They take the energy of every no and turn it into momentum for their yes. Consistency is their secret weapon. While others are addicted to motivation, legends are anchored in discipline. They don't wait to feel inspired. They show up regardless. Rain or shine, energy or exhaustion, they execute. This separates the dabblers from the dominators. The mentality of the legends is rooted in habits that compound over time. Small actions done with excellence that produce massive results. They don't chase perfection. They pursue progress with relentless commitment. Even on the bad days, they find a way to win. Not always in public, not always with fanfare, but in private, where character is built and refined. They train their minds just as hard as they train their bodies or businesses, because they understand that mindset is the gatekeeper of success. If your thinking is weak, your results will be weak. But if your mentality is strong, your outcomes will eventually rise to meet it. Legends are creators of energy. They don't wait for the environment to be right. They make it right. Walk into a room with someone who carries legendary energy, and you feel it before they speak. It's not arrogance. It's certainty. They have earned that certainty through battle, sacrifice, and self-leadership. They inspire not with empty words, but with embodied action. They don't talk about what they're going to do. They let the results do the talking. That energy comes from integrity, from doing what they said they would do, long after the emotion of the decision faded. They aren't perfect, but they are accountable. They don't need sympathy, they need standards. And they hold themselves to a level that most people consider extreme. But that's why they get extreme results. They know the cost of greatness, and they pay it daily, with no complaints and no shortcuts. One of the most powerful aspects of the legendary mentality is ownership. Legends don't play the blame game. They don't point fingers at their circumstances, their upbringing, or the people who doubted them. They take full control of their response to everything. Because when you take ownership, you take power. Victims stay stuck. Legends rise. No matter what life throws at them, they ask the same question. What now? What's next? How do I grow from this? That's why even in loss, they find a win. Even in pain, they find purpose. Even in silence, they find strength. They don't need a crowd to feel validated. Their confidence is built on internal victories, on the promises they kept to themselves when no one was watching. They know that true greatness begins behind closed doors, in the small decisions, the private commitments, and the invisible work that compounds into visible results. Legends are not born into excellence, they evolve into it. They begin like everyone else, flawed, uncertain, inexperienced. What makes them legendary isn't a lucky break or natural talent. It's the relentless decision to improve every single day. They are students of life. They read, they study, they watch, they reflect. While others coast through life with the brakes on, legends push the pedal down and steer toward discomfort because they know that's where growth lives. They're never satisfied, but always grateful. That balance between hunger and humility makes them powerful. They use success as fuel, not as a reason to slow down. And they use failure as data, not as a reason to give up. In every experience, they ask, what did I learn? What can I change? How can I be better? That's why they continue to evolve while others plateau. Legends value time in a way most people don't. They don't waste it. They don't let distractions steal their attention. Every minute has a purpose. They're intentional with their focus. They design their days with vision, not reaction. You won't find them binge-watching their life away or gossiping about what others are doing. They stay in their lane and maximize every inch of it. They treat time like it's more valuable than money. Because it is. Money lost can be regained. Time lost is gone forever. So, legends are ruthless with their priorities. They don't say yes to every request. They don't chase popularity. They chase results. Their calendar reflects their goals. Their lifestyle reflects their values. Their actions reflect their beliefs. And their success reflects their discipline. They are also visionaries. They see things before they exist. They imagine possibilities that others can't comprehend. They believe in their vision so deeply that they'll risk rejection, ridicule, and resistance to bring it to life. This mental clarity is their compass. It keeps them steady when others would crumble. Legends don't need the crowd to believe. They believe first, and eventually, the world catches up. That's what separates pioneers from passengers. Legends lead. They blaze trails. They open doors. And when those doors close, they build new ones. Their mindset isn't limited by the present. They're always thinking about what's next, who they're becoming, and how they can make a greater impact. They live with legacy in mind, not just how they'll be remembered, but how many lives they can transform along the way. Another defining trait of the legendary mindset is emotional control. Legends don't allow their feelings to dictate their future. They have emotions, but emotions don't have them. They've trained themselves to respond, not react. When things go wrong, they breathe, assess, and move forward. They don't spiral. They don't panic. They've developed emotional resilience through years of self-discipline and inner work. That control gives them a tactical advantage. While others are consumed by fear or anger, legends stay focused. They make clear decisions under pressure. They are unshakable, not because life is easy, but because they've learned how to stay grounded when everything around them feels unstable. Legends are generous with their wisdom. They don't hoard knowledge or hide the keys to success. They mentor, they teach, they guide. They understand that true power is not in domination, but in elevation, lifting others as they rise. They don't feel threatened by others winning. They want to see others succeed. Because the mentality of a legend is never rooted in insecurity. It's rooted in abundance. They know there's enough room at the top for more than one champion. So they extend a hand, they share what they've learned, and they plant seeds that blossom in the lives of others. That's how legacies are built, not just through personal victories, but through multiplying value in others. You'll often find that legends carry a deep sense of purpose. They don't just wake up to make money or win trophies. There's something larger pulling them forward, something spiritual, moral, or deeply personal. Maybe it's a cause, maybe it's a promise they made, maybe it's a responsibility they carry. But whatever it is, it's real, and it gives them an edge that can't be bought or faked. Purpose is the engine behind their persistence. When motivation fades, when results stall, when the path is dark, that purpose keeps them going. They rise because quitting isn't compatible with their mission. They endure because they're not living just for themselves. They're driven by something immortal. Even when no one is watching, legends show up. They are disciplined in silence. Their greatness is forged in lonely mornings, in late nights, in painful repetitions that few ever see. They understand that who you are when no one's clapping matters more than who you are on stage. Character is what you do in private. Honor is how you carry yourself when you think no one's noticing. Legends keep their word, especially to themselves. They don't cut corners, and they don't cheat their process. Because they know that how you do one thing is how you do everything. Excellence is not an act, it's a habit. And greatness is not a moment, it's a lifestyle. So if you want to develop the mentality of the legends, start with how you think, how you speak to yourself, how you respond to challenges. Eliminate the excuses. Drop the victim stories. Replace doubt with belief, laziness with action, fear with faith. Train your mind like your life depends on it, because it does. Surround yourself with people who challenge your comfort, who call you higher, who remind you that you're built for more. And most of all, commit fully, unapologetically to becoming the best version of yourself, not someday, but starting right now. Because you were not created to be average. You were created to be legendary.